gentlemen, this is Mohak, founder of Technically Sorted. And those who are new to this YouTube channel, of course, you can press the subscribe button and the bell icon below. You can be notified about my future videos. Go check out the past videos in the YouTube channel, etc. And those who know me already, those who are already the followers of this YouTube channel or follow me on other social media platforms can get access to this video, have an idea about what I do, why I'm here, how my role is in the markets and the education of markets, etc. So I have got this very important topic to be spoken about today. It's a little bit late in the night, and I had to talk about it. I had to make this video today. I'm working from my home office. I just finished a conference call with someone I was personally mentoring. I personally mentor only a few people during the entire year. And this is one conversation I want to have publicly now. Something which is most common and least spoken about. I don't even know why. I've had this conversation with so many of my course group students, either on the webinar itself or sometimes they've called me up personally and shared these small issues. I have mentored people personally. I've seen this again recurring problem. I've spoken to and mentored people outside India, NRIs, then someone, I remember this gentleman from Australia, one lady from France, another NIA from Europe and Chicago, God knows where, all over the globe. This seems to be one common problem. And this common problem is that the traders who are aspiring traders, the budding traders, the new traders, who really want to grab their consistency, learn, really focus on their trading, make an equity curve, make something, and they really believe very passionately about trading. I see them not getting enough moral support, and that being a complaint. I see that they always say my spouse or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or my relatives and my friend circles, they don't really understand what I do as a trader. There is hardly any support out there for me, and this has been this one chronic complaint, extremely common and never spoken about, never ever spoken about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what happens is that trading is very different as a business. Markets are a very different place as a platform to make money. No other platform gives you the kind of freedom markets give you. All you need is your capital, your intellectual capital, that is your ideas and skills, and how you apply yourself to these two functions and tools of your behavior and ownership. If you can apply your capital and your intellectual capital, that is your skill, in the right manner, there's virtually an unlimited amount of money to be made. Obviously, depending on the capital size, there can be a really huge amount of money you can make over a period of time. You can literally make a fortune, not just the income in this business. And so, to justify these ends, the means are actually tough. It is not easy. The trading journey by itself is not easy. I've realized that by myself in my fair share of learning, and also I keep on learning till now also, and also how I've been teaching people, and in the last 4 years of my training people, I have realized that yes, there are certain challenges people tend to face because of a lot of psychology, a lot of clutter, and a bad past, a dark past, etc. So getting over all that darkness and getting into consistency, there are challenges on the way. The learning curve is quite steep, no doubt about that, and it justifies how steep it is. It eventually justifies. But along these lines, what happens is, because the way our social structure is and the social institutions are, it becomes extremely difficult for people to go out there and really express what they're yearning for. I mean, if you're a budding trader and you're facing some losses, if you go and tell to your friends, you feel a little bad about it, feel a little ashamed about it. The same thing if you're preparing for some sort of an exam to do a post-graduation, for example, and you failed in that exam. You went out there to your friends and told them, hey, I failed in this competitive exam. I really wanted to do my MBA, for example, from a particular college, and I did not really get that good score in my competitive exams. Your friends would be like, hey, no problem, man. It's okay. You try better luck next time. You do the right things. You focus, this, that. There will be a lot of moral support because that is something everybody understands, right? Even if you, not just talking about education, if you go and do some sort of a business or you pursue a job, a particular type of profile you're looking for, there will be moral support available, because most of the world tends to understand these spaces, and mostly these spaces where there is either something which does not involve a loss, or there is something which is tangible. And in this case, markets, both things are missing. One, that whatever we do as traders is intellectual work. It is highly intellectual. It's engaging work, it's engrossing work, it's something which you really need to have the nerves for as well as the intellect for. At the same time, it's completely intangible. You cannot really see, feel, hear, touch, smell, what you're doing. People really can't see exactly what work it is that you're doing. It's mostly brain work, and brain work and the development of your sense of vision, etc. But people don't realize this as something which is very, very, sort of invisible to them. So what happens is, like most people otherwise behave in the markets, the ones who are consistently losing traders take markets as a platform to gamble. They misuse their freedom and their access to money and ultimately lose money. And therefore there's this victimhood generally there in the society, because 95% of the traders lose money in the market. There's this victimhood generally in the society, which causes this groupism and this misery to be out there. Also, people tend to have limited beliefs about how much money they can make. And because there are limited beliefs, they tend to pass on this limitation to other people. I mean, I have noticed this myself. I know a lot of people who want me to do very well, but they really don't want me to do better than themselves. They really don't want me to do even better than how they have set limits for themselves as to how much is one fair share of income, or fair shares of spending, or how much money you need, etc. And believe me, these are just blockages to having wealth in your life. You do not really need to limit yourself. And out of these social institutions and thought processes, these groups are created which actually cause a lot of misery to budding traders who are just normal human beings. I have been privy to what you are experiencing if you're watching this, and I have learned not to give a shit. This is something which I really want to talk to you about today. So what is the solution, Mohak? Sir, I've had these kind of experiences. My spouse doesn't want me to trade. She finds this is very risky, or he finds this is something very risky, or something which just seems like a short-term charm to them. Probably they've not seen a lot of successful traders in their life. They've heard so many negative stories, etc., etc., etc. So, Mohak, what is the solution? And how do I go about telling people that, hey, I'm really working on something I really am so passionate about, and I'm not just looking for your support or anything. It's just that I feel like sharing it out of sheer joy. I've had that experience myself. I've wanted to share things with people out of sheer joy, and in return, I have got this backlash. Hey, you are a dumb fuck. You don't even know what you're doing. You're playing with fire. You're having so much risk. You don't know this platform. You're a child right now, etc., etc., etc. Okay, yeah, maybe when I started out, I was really young. There was a baby child, brain child, and there was this, kind of immaturity. And eventually, I had my learning curve. I learned through, and I really worked hard for what I've achieved. I really worked hard for the kind of knowledge, the kind of consistency, for the kind of profitability, etc. And while I was working very hard, again and again, I also faced this kind of stupidity from the social structure around me. Was that, why are you in a business where there is so much risk? And let me tell you, hey, you think this business has got so much risk? Believe me, if I go out and I open a factory, for example, I open a factory which are say for example, they are manufacturing unit of batteries, okay? And I make a lot of batteries, I sell a lot of batteries, the company is going fine, and suddenly there's this government regulation which impacts the sales of autos, which impacts the sale of batteries, etc. And then what happens? My stock price starts falling down, my value starts decreasing, my profitability starts decreasing, etc. It's out of control. Here I am as a trader. I go and invest, or I go and trade in the stock of a battery company. There is a government regulation. I can sell off the stock 1% down. in a 1% loss. I can sell off the stock in a minimum loss as much as I want to. I don't even really need to hold on to that. I can shift to another company or sector which is doing well. Just imagine the kind of freedom I have over here. You call this risky business? I don't have a debtor or credit. I don't have to call up somebody and say, hey, where's my money? You were supposed to give me money on this date. It's all on the computer. The exchange is there. The broker is there. Everything is electronic. The money comes to my account just like that. There is this limitless freedom which you have, depending of course on the size of capital. You can do anything what you want to with your capital. It's an open exchange, an open platform. It's somebody as a budding trader which you have realized that you're doing this for your passion, not to fool around with your money, and therefore you respect this platform. Unlike a lot others who don't respect the platform, who fool around with their money, just using their freedom of capital and freedom of this open exchange in the wrong way. And you don't need to compare yourself with them, or you don't need to let their victimhood mentality brush upon you. What you need to do is you need to have confidence in yourself. The companies in the world who have done really, really well are the ones who focused on their core values. You focus on your core values. What are your core values? Why is it that you're trading? When I see personally, when I was facing challenges, one of the challenges I was facing, I had to work on my psychology a lot, is that I've been this very aggressive trader at times. I'm still an aggressive trader if somebody has to say it like that. But at one point I was like super aggressive. One of my qualities was that when I really saw it, I could hit size. And I could just move a lot of money. I could hit size, get a big profit, etc. And then what happens is a couple of times, I had to take some hits because again it's a probabilistic environment. And my leverage was too much. I really jumped up my leverage only after 3 or 4 trades. After 3 or 4 trades, I would quadruple my leverage. My leverage would be 4 times of my first trade. And I couldn't handle those losses and somehow booked some losses, and I was feeling very miserable. I had to work on this. This happened again and again and again. And after teaching so many people, I've realized that some form or the other problem leads to this kind of an equity curve. So I was going up in money, coming down, going up, coming down, not getting consistency. Now every time I would come down, I would say hey, I need to do more, I need to prepare hard, I need to work hard, I need to balance my leverage, do all the right things. Again I would go up. I would leverage a lot, I would be very aggressive, and I would again go down. And I really needed a solution to all this. While I was needing the solution to all this, even expressing myself as somebody who was really focusing on improving himself and his skill, it was very difficult to express. Because nobody wants to hear from someone, hey, I lost money, can you suggest me what to do? I lost money, I really feel bad about it. Because the moment you talk about losing money or think about losing money, all point a finger at you, all lips are ready to open, hey, I told you so, etc. And when that situation happens, the fear actually increases. Because you're always looking for that moral support, you're always looking for that that bonding around and that cooperative kind of feeling that, hey, I belong here. Something is telling me I belong here. Something is telling me I still need to have hope and faith that I can do well. I need to go through this phase, somehow fight through these challenges, etc. But there are people who are really supporting me. You feel good about it as a human being. And that's what something we have always yearned for. We've always been brought up in that way back in school. If you had poor marks in some subject, maybe you would get that black star or that red mark, and that's where the trauma starts, because that first black star or the first red mark or the first minus sign on your report card, that is the first time where you were told that there is something that can measure you negatively. That's the first set of traumas you get. And you're built on, the social structure around you is built in such a way that you're always in a position to impress others. I mean, look at the social media right now. I see 90% of the time the youth is spending is on doing things and thinking about things and planning things and talking about things in order to impress others. That's where the attention is. And then later they come and complain, hey man, the economy is doing so bad. Hey buddy, you're on your phone 5 times you were. 5 times of the phone time you used to spend earlier you're spending 5 times more the time on your phone, and you are complaining the economy is bad. Just imagine what is happening. The entire youth is trying to impress. So we have been such tightly structured with the social institutions of doing what others are doing, believing on what others believe, that we end up finding ourselves very isolated as traders. Because no matter how you try, how hard you try, when you are in your learning curve stage, you can't even express yourself as a success. You can't even express yourself as someone who is learning something meaningful, because others don't find meaning in this. And there's no reason for you to impress others, of course, but there is some sort of a human feeling inside you that, hey, I wish somebody would hear me out. I wish I could honestly express myself. So this is what I was going through. And when I started to realize that there is this correlation, that all the fear which is there inside me in trading and not being able to cross those boundaries which I want to, go beyond those thresholds which I want to, a lot of this fear is connected to how I see the world around me. I started feeling as if the world is attacking me every time I had a loss, because it sort of gave me the same mental trauma the initial negative marking ever in my life was giving me. It sort of gave me that mental trauma that I have lost somewhere. I started getting that feeling of negativity, and this was almost subconscious, that this feeling of negativity was somewhere related to the fact that I will not even be accepted or loved by anybody. And it was something strong. It was subconscious, almost something which people don't acknowledge, but their fear of identity is so ingrained in them that I will probably not even be loved by anyone. That's a death of identity. That's what most fear is about, because we egotistically want to hold on to certain beliefs, etc., etc. And I realized that this was the problem, and I was holding on my identity so much as someone who was a budding trader, an aspiring trader, and someone who was still making his way through consistency, etc. And so much so that I really felt like I would, even if I get it done, who would love me? Even if I get it done, who would support me? Even if I get it done, how would it even help me as a human being to share my joy and happiness with others when nobody understands this? This was my problem. I also understand that at times it became so important for me to try to impress others that the smallest idea that I had a losing trade or I had a set of losing trades would shake me off. What would I tell to my parents? What would I tell to my friends? Hey, I've been losing money last week? No. It was shaking me off what people would think of me, whether I'd be loved or not. And that is when I decided to throw away this entire emotion altogether. And I said, I won't give a shit. I said, I won't give a shit about what people think. I won't give a shit about what is going on in other people's mind, why they are yakking out in a negative way about markets. When I go to the tea stall near the stock exchange, where one of the times my office used to be, I used to hear traders talking negatively sometimes about it. When I saw certain WhatsApp groups where they were not really motivated traders, just by the way, investors, retail traders, not putting enough efforts, and they were talking miserably about the markets, I said I won't give a shit. When I started meeting people in some of these conferences, which were actually investor conferences, but they were talking about short term and talking negatively about the market, I said I won't give a shit. When I met my relatives or when I met my acquaintances or friends, who would say negatively anything about the market or about what I was doing, I said I won't give a shit. I said I won't give a shit about anything and anybody. I will work on myself. I will find my way, because that is what I'm here for. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to impress anybody. I still hold those values to myself, that my core values are the means to the end. That end is money. It's not the means. But because we're in this impress everybody environment, we want that to become the means. That hey, I want to be the person with the money, so that people can be around me and people would want to be associating with me? No, 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 no. I'm not that kind of a person. Sorry, please. My needs are around my core values. My core values about trading is I like this as a creative experience, an intellectual experience, as something which is financially lucrative, gives me the idea and gets my juices running about business, etc., about information, about knowledge, and wow, this is something I want to do. I see this as a game, but not to be played casually, of course. But I see this as something which is to my liking, my passion, and I have made this my profession. I have chosen this. It's my duty now to not give a shit about anything else and start focusing on myself. So I started working on myself. The most logical decision would be that, hey, your position sizing is too big. Why don't you just cut down your position sizing? That would be the most logical decision. Now, why don't you just cut down your position sizing? And you will be trading better, you will be trading more consistently. And I was realizing that in that process, I was realizing that I cut down my position sizing, but the losses made me feel as bad, no matter how much the money was. And that is when I realized that the amount of loss was not the problem, the leverage was not the problem. The problem was taking a loss, accepting that I'm wrong, understanding the probabilistic nature of the market. So what I started doing, I started making my trades more selective. With the knowledge of technical analysis, as this is one of my fields of expertise, I started really working on a lot, learning a lot, reading a lot, etc. Now I teach people. Over the years now in the last 4 years I've been teaching people. But before that and even during that, there's a lot of learning I had to take for myself. So I did whatever I could to get my trade selection better, as best as it could be, as high probability as it could be. And then I did cut down my position sizing, but not so much, because I realized my aggressiveness is my strength also. This is what gets me the money in. When I can really see it, I act. I don't act impulsively without any reason. I act when there is a reason. So I thought this is my strength also. And I started focusing on a combination of understanding that it's okay to be wrong sometimes, and trading my selection, taking my trades very meticulously, improving my trade selection and trade quality, and then thirdly, keeping my aggressiveness, because aggressiveness is not just related to your position size, it is also related to how quickly you get in, how fast you react to the market. The reaction times are less at times, and how quickly you do that. So I realized that was my strength. I could really react very fast. I could really respond very fast to the price as it was giving me triggers, and that is where the meat of the money was made. Also, one of the things which I said, and this could be very helpful for a lot of people, I cut them down. I started taking few trades, but better ones and solid ones, and that actually made much bigger a difference than just cutting my position sizing down. So I need to look at this in different dimensions and let my psychology flow through it. But then psychology can be seen like there was this belief structure around I should do this, do that, go ahead like this, get in like this, scale into a position like this, scale out of a position like this, etc. But holding all that was an inner self-confidence. And that inner self-confidence came when? That inner self-confidence came when I said to myself that I don't give a shit. And that is what you need to do if you're watching this. Something nobody talks about, something which people, I don't know why they fear talking about it, but it's just so common. So common out there in the world. And we don't even talk about it. Why? Now, if you've chosen this path, you've chosen this beyond a lot of challenges, after knowing all the dark and grey areas that could be. And financial freedom is an output of what you do. But the input that you give wholeheartedly without giving a shit about anything else, that is what is going to create that financial freedom you're looking for. And what is financial freedom in the end of the day? Is it a steady stream of income? Is it something that you really enjoy and find the inner freedom to do so, express yourself? Or is it something which people think is going to just do it once and you'll be sorted for life? Believe me, nothing in the world you do it once and get sorted for life. Nothing in the world. Probably if you invent something really big and you make say like 50, 100 crore rupees, I want to live off that interest, etc. Maybe in those situations, yeah. But 50, 100 crores rupees are not going to come to you tomorrow with trading if you start with anything less than a 500 crore capital. That means you already have that money. So financial freedom means a steady stream of income which you find almost effortless to make, in which you have the scope of growing, in which you have the scope of leverage, based on a business model which is scalable, and something which you do over time, as you know, you're expressing your freedom in it also. You are totally into this business for the intellectual experience, for the creative experience, for the financially lucrative experience, not because of the gambling experience which others are here for. And if those others are coming and giving you a thumbs down on it, then you just say, when they give you a thumbs down on it, you be ready to say, be ready with the other kind of finger, because it's very important. It's very important to believe in yourself. You've really worked hard to come this far. You may be watching this video at some particular time in the night after doing all your days hard work, etc. You all must be giving so much focus to your improvement. I'm really thankful to those people, because it's not just about getting social media followers or having people see your video on YouTube, hundreds of views and thousands of views every day. No. It's actually about feeling myself very inspired about what you guys are doing, because it gives me the motivation not just to make more of these videos, but also to holistically give more learning even in my paid course, and also to learn more myself every day. I spend a lot of time learning and reading, and I enjoy it completely. Because when I started moving away from wanting to impress others, and I got into just expressing myself as I am, as it is, that is what made all the difference. Yes, the shit less giving made all the difference. And that is what you will have to do if you really want to work on yourself, looking beyond the need for moral support. Because nobody in the world, and we just don't realize, even as human beings, even we do this to other people. Beyond our periphery of beliefs, we can't support anybody in anything beyond what we believe in. And when those overlaps happen, maybe we can have some friendships or some closeness with someone. But until those beliefs overlap, nobody can help you, no matter how much you want them to, how much they want you to. You can afford to be okay with, they don't believe in it, let them live with it. You believe in something, you live with it. And when you learn to settle this down, you will learn to invite this poise and poignance onto not just your trading, but your life in general, and your trading also, where you have to be okay with what the market is doing, and you be what you're expecting with the market. And when there's an overlap, you find a trade. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope to come up with some very interesting topics in the coming future. Those who are new, as well as those who have already subscribed to this channel, click on the bell icon so you can get notification of the upcoming videos. Also, if you want to get to know more about me, go to my website www.technicallysorted.com. You can get in touch with my team, you can get in touch with me, you can join my paid courses, etc. The whole point is to actually spread awareness, spread knowledge, and really share knowledge in the best way possible. Even if you want to have any kind of suggestions for what kind of videos you want me to make, you can give your feedback. Take a moment, give any kind of feedback. You can give your feedback upon what you heard about on this video. Take a moment and write it on your comment section below. Share this video with your friends who may be resonating with what I've just spoken about, and have a great time working on yourself and your trading skills. All the best. Thank you so much. Have fun. God